Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. I mean, she made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Brissett drops the throw. Looking, fires it deep downfield. That ball is going to be knocked away! Knocked away! Knocked away! The Jags win it in overtime with another terrific defensive play. Oh, these cardiac cats! They win it again! A huge win on the road for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That was Frank Frangie, Jaguars radio, a little over 24 hours ago. The Jaguars go into Arizona, come out with a 27-24 overtime victory, their second overtime road victory of the year, 3-0 on their West Coast trips, and now the Jaguars sit 7-4, only one game out of first place in the AFC South. With that, a very good Monday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. We are glad you are with us. What a roller coaster. I mean, a roller coaster of emotions. Really, this entire season has been, as we were talking with Baloo earlier, outside of Carolina, the Rams, and the Chargers, the other 8 games the Jaguars have played, you could argue have been in doubt at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. Some have gone the Jaguars' way. Some have not gone the Jaguars' way. Thankfully, yesterday, it did go the Jaguars' way. The Jaguars, again, get a win over Arizona. Was it a work of art? No. Was it a thing of beauty? Far from it. But you know what? 50-0 or 27-24 in overtime counts just the same. In the National Football League, a win is a win, and the Jaguars, a 4-win Jacksonville Jaguar team in 2024, already has 7 wins prior to Thanksgiving in 2025. We're going to talk a whole lot about that tonight. Guest lineup looks like this. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI. He will join me coming up at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. Also, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 will stop by later on in the 9 o'clock hour. And with it being Thanksgiving week, that means it is Florida State week. Nothing says college football like a 4:30 kick on ESPN2. I didn't even know they do 4:30 kicks on ESPN2, but apparently they do. And that's where the 5 and 6 Seminoles and the 3 and 8 Gators have been relegated to on Saturday afternoon. Of course, both schools in the news. Florida State announcing they will keep Mike Norvell for the 2026 season because they literally cannot afford to fire him. And Florida is in the news because they, like Ole Miss and LSU, are awaiting word from Lane Kiffin as to what his plans are. We will certainly spend a lot of time on Florida State this week. My buddy Ben Troop, former All-American tight end at the University of Florida, he joins me in the 9 o'clock hour to preview Florida State, but obviously to talk about Lane Kiffin as well. So we are glad you are with us on a Monday here on Hacker After Dark. Every night on HAD, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal?
What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
Oh, goodness gracious. Where to begin from yesterday in the desert out at the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale for the Jacksonville Jaguars? All right. Let's start with the negative, because there was quite a lot of negative to go around. First and foremost, Trevor Lawrence. Calais Campbell tipped that pass that got intercepted in the end zone. The pass protection broke down. Trevor didn't see the blitzing safety that resulted in the one touchdown early in the game. And you could argue that the two other interceptions were terrific plays by the defense, particularly the interception by Budda Baker. Having said all that, it was not a good day for Trevor Lawrence by and large. You cannot commit 4 turnovers if you're a starting quarterback of an NFL team and expect to win. Craziest stat I saw was going back to the start of the 2021 season, teams that were +4 in the turnover margin were 50-0 going into yesterday. 50-0, +4 turnover margin, dating back to the beginning of the 2021 season. They're now 50-1 because the Jaguars are the first team in 5 years to win in the NFL when they were -4 in the turnover margin. So Trevor wasn't very good. Good or bad, it's something that I certainly disagreed with. Look, I've had people try to explain it to me today, and maybe I'm just an old curmudgeon. Maybe I am the oldest 42-year-old on the planet. When you're up 3 with 1:45 to go and the other team is out of timeouts, I'm screaming from the hilltops to kick the field goal. Liam Cohen decided not to do that, decided to go for it. Maybe my tone would be different if they had gotten it. But at the time, I could not believe that they went for it on 4th and 1. And maybe I was blinded by the play call itself. Maybe if it would have been something more thought out, I could have seen going for it. But I thought it was a disastrous play call. You basically had one option. When that one option was taken away, you had to throw it deep to Tim Patrick in the corner of the end zone. I mean, what are we doing? Arizona stops them. Arizona gets the ball, only needs a field goal to tie. Darn near got in the end zone, which I guess is the logic of why you would go for it on 4th down, I suppose. But, boy, when they did not get that 4th down and left those 3 points out there, I was having flashbacks to Cincinnati all over again. So I didn't agree with that at the time. Still don't agree with it, but I've had people try to talk it into me throughout the day. And look, you know, missed tackles, there were certainly some of that. Some penalties here and there. There were some bad things that happened. But I got to tell you something. After what happened in Houston a couple of weeks ago, and you saw the writing on the wall for that happening again yesterday, to be without Trayvon Walker, Anton Harrison, Jordan Lewis, Brian Thomas Jr., obviously Travis Hunter, you could go on down the line, to be without the services of all those guys. Again, to be -4 in the turnover differential, -4. To be on the road for the 3rd time on the West Coast prior to Thanksgiving, to have all that avalanche of stuff going against you, and to be trailing with 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, for the offense to put together a drive like they did, and for Trevor Lawrence, after those 3 interceptions, to throw a pass like he did to Parker Washington in the back of the end zone, and then for the defense to stop Arizona in overtime in the fashion that they did, without Jordan Lewis, without Trayvon Walker. At that point, Greg Newsome was no longer in the game. Man, if you're not a fan of this Jaguar team, if you're not a fan of the heart that this Jaguar team has, I don't know what to tell you. This team went from 5-18 in their previous 23 and being the laughing stock of the league over the last year and a half to being 7-4, being firmly in the playoffs if they started today, being 3-0 on the West Coast. How many East Coast teams have won 3 games in a season out west? And to overcome all that and all the injuries they've had and be where they are right now, Liam Cohen's not going to win Coach of the Year, but I got to tell you something, man. He'd get my vote. And maybe I'm jaded, and maybe I have my Jaguar blinders on. Maybe because I'm here in Jacksonville and I cover the Jaguars on a daily basis. Maybe I'm blinded by the teal and black, aura that I see. All very possible. But you tell me a guy that's been dealt a tougher hand amidst injuries, amidst perception, amidst mistakes on the field, amidst stupid penalties, everything that's happened to this team, all the nonsense that has happened in the past, and quite frankly, some of the nonsense that's happened this year, and to be 7-4 right now and to control your own destiny, tip of the cap to you, Liam Cohen. I didn't agree with you going forward on fourth down yesterday, but I agree with one thing. I agree that you should be coach of the year, and you would have my vote if it was right now. I think Liam Cohen has done a fantastic job changing the perception of this organization, quite frankly, changing the thought of this fan base. I mean, Liam Cohen was a relative unknown. Remember, everybody wanted Ben Johnson, right? Remember that? Ben Johnson. Hey, Ben Johnson's done a great job in Chicago. I got nothing against Ben Johnson, but I'm happy Liam Cohen is the coach here. He's done terrific things. Terrific. And to be 7-4 and to head to Tennessee this week, get a chance to get to 8-4 with maybe the biggest regular season home game on the horizon since the AFC South Championship game at the end of 2022. It is a cool time to be a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars and, quite frankly, to cover the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk more about the game. Let's talk more about the individual performances. How about Dennis Gardeck in his return to Arizona? How about the job of Devin Lloyd, Joshua Hines-Allen, the two youngsters, Danny Strigow and B.J. Green? You know, guys on the offense. Welcome back Brenton Strange. Holy moly. Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. Terrific effort all the way around. Jaguars are 7-4. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI, joins us in less than 20 minutes. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. It's a Monday night here in Northeast Florida, and you got it right here. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Check in Tuesdays for Jeff Lageman and Check the Tape Tuesday.
We'll keep you up to date with the latest and NFL news.
Tuesdays during football season on Jaguars Today. Checked by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. Hacker here. Thanksgiving is approaching. The holidays are approaching. One of the great things about Awaken 180 weight loss is they're real people. They understand that you want to get away for the holidays, maybe indulge, enjoy yourself a little bit. They will work with you. They will set up a plan for you. I remember a couple of Thanksgivings that I was on Awaken 180, a couple of holidays that I was on Awaken 180. My coach Kate and I, we came up with a plan. And more importantly, when the holidays were over, we got right back on Awaken 180's plan, and it worked flawlessly. Awaken 180 is the best weight loss program I've ever been on. The coaching you get is second to none. If it's time for you to lose weight like it is for me, deal with real people that'll be with you every step of the way. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone.
Where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets the Duralast battery.
Have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to brandonroofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
We send our best agent in the field.
I want you to find GoldenEye, find who took it, what they plan to do with it, and stop it.
Hayes Carline takes you behind enemy lines.
Man, he's like a super spy.
Activated by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
City Rescue Mission provides life-changing support for the homeless. Find ways to get involved at crmjax.org.
The 5-Star Veterans Center of Jacksonville is the place homeless veterans can go to recover, recharge, retrain, and reconnect. Learn more at 5starveteranscenter.org.
Her Song is a nonprofit organization that breaks the cycle of human trafficking through survivor care, victim outreach, and education. Find out how you can help at hersong.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Brackish Vodka, the spirit of the sportsman and proud partner of the Jaguars, is now available at the Fresh Market Spirits and Wine. The Fresh Market Spirits and Wine is a new adult beverage store offering spirits, wine, beer, and accessories at A1A North in Ponte Vedra, a first-of-its-kind destination for thoughtfully curated spirits, wine, and beer as only the Fresh Market can. And now, you can get Brackish Vodka at the Fresh Market. Brackish Vodka, for whatever your sport is. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! What is the oldest team in the NFL? The answer coming up.
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowner's policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance. The oldest team in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals, founded in 1898 as the Morgan Athletic Club.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Glad you're with us, Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI, less than 15 minutes away. All opinions are certainly welcome here on Hacker After Dark. I'm going to start doing my best to reading more off the text line. And I've got one here that came in the first segment. I'll read it verbatim. From the 672. Hacker man, I love you, bro. Well, that's nice, buddy. Love you too. But you are definitely blinded by the teal and black. This team is not resilient. Resilient doesn't get your, can I say that? Resilient doesn't get your butt beat in London. Resilient doesn't play to the level of your competition. They're getting lucky to have won several of these games with the poor quarterback play. And there was a word before poor. I'm not sure I can say that one either. So, all right, and that's fine, and I appreciate the thoughts. This team is resilient. I don't know how you say they're not resilient. Let's examine this. I mean, it's not difficult. Look at the games they've won this year. They were losing to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football at the 2-minute warning. They ended up winning that game, right? That's factual. That did happen. They were losing to the Arizona Cardinals yesterday with 4 minutes to go in the ball game on the road. They came back and they won that game. You look at Houston, that was a tie game in week 3, the home game. That was a tie game with 3 minutes to go. They obviously went on to win that game. And you can go on down the line, right? San Francisco, they're up 5. 49ers are driving at midfield. Defense makes a play to win the game. They've won 5 out of 8 one-score games this year. 5. Trevor Lawrence alone. You're talking about game-winning drives, either game-winning field goal or touchdown drives in the fourth quarter or in overtime. Well, he's got one against Houston in week 3. He's got one against Kansas City on Monday night. He had a game-winning touchdown drive in Las Vegas in overtime, and he had a game-winning drive yesterday, to take the lead at the end of regulation, which they ultimately, Arizona tied, and then Trevor drove him down for a field goal in overtime. So on 4 different instances this year, 4, Trevor Lawrence has led game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or in overtime. Now, you talk about playing down to the level of competition. When did the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2025 become the Kansas City Chiefs? When did they become the Buffalo Bills or the Philadelphia Eagles? The level of competition, the Jaguars won 4 games last year. The Jaguars won 5 out of 23 games prior to the arrival of Liam Cohen. They were the down competition. How can you play down to the competition when you were the down competition up until this season? They've won 7 games already before Thanksgiving. 2 more games than they won in the last 23 appearances prior to Cohen's arrival. Quarterback play hasn't been good. Trevor has not been good. But you know where he actually has been very good? In the fourth quarter or in overtime. Keep in mind, even the loss at Houston, the collapse, Trevor got them to the Texan 42 before that penalty on Chuma Edoga. Cam Little was going to have a shot from 59 to win the game before that penalty. Trevor got him points in overtime in Arizona. Trevor got him points in overtime in Las Vegas. Trevor drove him down and beat Kansas City on Monday night. Same thing with Houston in week 3. Look, I'm never glass half full positive Jaguar guy. You guys have ridiculed me for years for being too negative. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age, but give me a break. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, look, there was a thought here locally they might be pretty good. Nationally, this team was an afterthought. Nobody cared. You think anybody had the Jaguars 7-4 through 11 games nationally? Of course not. You think anybody had them beating Kansas City and San Francisco and winning all these games in the fashion that they did? No way. And you go back to yesterday, what I love about this team is it's not just the name guys, right? Danny Strigal making an impact. Got hurt, came back in, and still made an impact after the injury. B.J. Green, Antonio Johnson, Dennis Gardeck. Dennis Gardeck. Thank you, James Gladstone. What a find he has been. You know, you look offensively, Brenton Strange. How many of you, prior to this year, thought Brenton Strange was going to be a one-contract guy here in Jacksonville, was going to be shown the door? He was lumped in there with Bigsby and all those guys as underachievers, right? He's playing like one of the best tight ends in football when he's healthy. He's out for 5 weeks. He doesn't play competitive football for a month and a half. He comes back with 5 for 93 his first time out. 5 for 93. Parker Washington yesterday, not only the great punt return, he's become one of those punt returners in the league. He's also become a terrific wide receiver. What a play he made in the fourth quarter. What a pass from Trevor, and what a catch by Parker Washington. Parker Washington and Brenton Strange yesterday combined for 10 catches for 164 yards and a touchdown. And then Jacoby Myers, third game as a Jaguar. Go out and get him at the trade deadline. 4 for 50 and a touchdown. Would have had 2 touchdowns had Calais Campbell not made a great play and tipped that ball. And guess what? They're going to get Brian Thomas Jr. back at some point. BTJ is going to re-enter the fold alongside Jacoby Myers, alongside Parker Washington, alongside Brenton Strange. The Jaguars are almost embracing the not apologizing for win mantra. Did you see Liam Cohen's postgame in the locker room? He also said it at the press conference yesterday. They're not going to apologize for wins. Look, it's never pretty. I mean, outside of the Charger game and I guess Carolina was pretty good. There's flaw with all of these wins. Houston in week 3, San Francisco, right? You know, the Raider game yesterday. You can go on down the line. They have not been works of art. They haven't been. They have not been the Mona Lisa. They might as well be graffiti on a wall. But if that graffiti on a wall gets you a W instead of an L, who cares? I could care less the way it looks. I'd much rather have an awful looking, awful smelling, awful tasting win than a terrific loss. What a game. What a phenomenal game. Yeah, they lost, but what a game. Who's ever said that? Give me the most nauseating win imaginable over the most perfect loss imaginable. And if the Jaguars have to embrace that, good for them. Right on. I embrace it right there with them. We talk about the Trevor Lawrence experience, right? He's going to make 2 or 3 plays per game that will just make you rip your hair out. But then he will also make 2 or 3 plays per game that will make him look like one of the best quarterbacks in football. It happened in Arizona this past week. Well, I almost think now it's the Jacksonville Jaguar experience. Because inevitably, whether it's Trevor doing something or committing dumb penalties or going for it on 4th down when I'm screaming at the TV not to do it, or whatever it is, blowing a coverage, the Jaguars are going to have some things go bad for them every single week. It's pretty much who they are. But you know who else they are? They're a team that more times than not, despite the things that go bad, they're going to find a way to win. Because they found a lot more ways to win this year than they have found ways to lose. And outside of LA, things have gone bad pretty much every game this year. Yet the Jaguars somehow, some way, are 7-4. That is a resilient football team. So are the Jaguars resilient? You bet your bottom dollar they are. Ugly? At times, sure. But I'd much rather have an ugly 7-4 team than a pretty team that's below 500. 641-1010 on the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Your thoughts always welcome here on a Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. Later on in the 9 o'clock hour, we will talk a little Florida State. We will talk about Lane Kiffin as Florida awaits that decision. Former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop joins us later on here on Hacker After Dark. Coming up next, back into the Jaguars. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI. Let's talk the win over Arizona. Let's briefly, ever so briefly, look ahead to the Tennessee Titans coming up this Sunday. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI, next, right here on Hacker After Dark.
Weekends fly.
I agree with him.
That's why we put more football in game day.
I'm in!
With the Terminix Kickoff Show. 5 hours before kickoff of every game. Protected by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting on 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Tandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I've got a challenge for you. Go stand next to your window. You feel a cool draft? Well, then you need Pella. The experts at Pella Windows and Doors can easily fix that with energy-efficient windows to keep the drafty air out and save you money every month. And how does 0% interest for 60 months sound? Go to PellaJacks.com and schedule a free home energy checkup. That's PellaJacks.com or visit the showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows and tell them you heard about Mike's challenge on 1010XL. Hey Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Looking for a brand new truck? Right now, Crew Cab Ram trucks start at just $38,900 at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram West Side. And every new retail purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and no extra cost. From tough Ram trucks to adventure ready Jeeps, they've got the perfect ride waiting for you. Stop by Commonwealth Avenue or shop online at jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram West Side, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
It's the end-of-year sales event going on now at Atlantic Infinity. This is Hayes Carlyon. Get 0% interest on select new Infinity models and special lease offers on the stunning QX60. Luxury, performance, and style, all in one drive. All new vehicles are backed with the exclusive Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value just for buying smarter. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com to see all new models or visit the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dan Hicken with a game changer. I've tested the field, and Checkmate Coatings is my new go-to for durable, jaw-dropping floor coatings. Better play, better results.
I'm Brendan from Checkmate Coatings. Our precision coatings make your floors the MVP of any space.
Slam dunk your floors at checkmatecoatings.com. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguars Titans Sunday 1 o'clock up in Nashville. The Jaguars now 7-4 after another road overtime victory, this time over the Arizona Cardinals. Let's look back on the win over Arizona, the absolute roller coaster of a game that it was, and briefly look ahead to Tennessee this Sunday with John Shipley. Jaguars on SI is where you find his terrific Jaguar coverage, and John is always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. John, how we doing, man?
I think you hit the nail on the head, man. Roller coaster. I'm doing good. A little glad. Most of these down the wire games have came on the road and not when we're there, but I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. John, I mean, this season has been crazy. There's been 3 outliers. In the win column, the Panthers and the Chargers. The loss column, the Rams. And the other 8 of the 11 games, the outcome was in doubt with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I mean, you want to talk about a crazy swing of emotion for Jaguar fans, and maybe no more evident than yesterday in Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, I believe at one point yesterday when Jacoby Brissett hit Greg Dortch for that touchdown, ESPN's probability model had the Jaguars with like a 23% chance to win. And then the Jaguars get the ball back after fourth down, and they have a 93% chance to win just, minutes later. And then goes overtime. So it's been that kind of year for Jacksonville. It really shows you, I think, the lesson that a lot of times one-score games can kind of be really volatile. It can kind of change from year to year, which is why if a team struggles in the games one year, like the Jags did last year, there's normally some optimism it can turn around the next year, just, based on variance alone. And that's what the Jaguars have done. I mean, they've hung in there. They've been tough. They've been resilient. And I think that's the identity of Liam Cohen's team right now.
There's no doubt, and I want to get to Liam Cohen in a moment, but I want to begin with Trevor Lawrence. There was some bad yesterday. There was, quite frankly, some really bad yesterday, and then there was some really good late in the game. And, John, look, the 3 interceptions, the fumble, 4 combined turnovers, that's certainly a story that absolutely cannot continue. But I do think there is something to be said after having all that happen to you, to go on that drive after Arizona took the lead, and Lawrence was almost flawless in that drive where he hit Parker Washington for that touchdown. He also was pretty good in overtime to lead them to that field goal. I think that's the 4th or 5th time that Lawrence has had a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime for Jacksonville so far this season.
Yeah, I think, frankly, Hacker, that's what makes the Trevor Lawrence discourse as heated as it is. That's what makes him such a maddening quarterback to watch, because down to down, drive to drive, he can be one of the most high-variance quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, he can one drive, like that last drive in the game, to take the lead with that fantastic pass to Parker Washington. He was money that entire drive. He was surgical. He looked like the top 10 quarterback that he very frequently looks like. The issue is, in the very same game, you'll get the guy who turns it over 4 times and makes a multitude of mistakes. Now, you can make the argument, yeah, the one interception in the end zone, that was obviously a tip pass by Calais Campbell. Don't really put that one on him too much. The first one, the fumble, the guy comes unblocked off the edge. It's hard to pin that on him that much, other than maybe take care of the ball better. But then the other two, there's no real excuse for them. And to me, that's the Trevor Lawrence roller coaster. It'd be so much simpler, I think, for people to come to terms with who he is if he was just like a Blaine Gabbert style. Okay, you know what he is. You know that there's not really any hope that he's going to be anything of sustained. He's not that. He's not a bad quarterback by any means. He just has these wild swings of his play within games that makes it hard to really know who you're getting at certain points. But I will say, in their biggest moments this year, outside of one game against the Houston Texans, Trevor Lawrence has shown up. And I think there's something to that. And I think that, again, yesterday, in the middle of all those turnovers and bad plays, he had some of his best throws of the season. It just feels like that's who he is right now.
And even in the loss to Houston, if Chuma Edoga is not called for that penalty, they got Cam Little in position for, I believe it would have been a 59-yard kick to win it. So who really knows? I agree with you. He's been in crunch time. John Shipley, Jaguars on SI with us here on Hacker After Dark. All right, you see the value Brenton Strange is. Boy, they missed him. With him and Parker Washington and the emergence of Jacoby Myers. I mean, John, at some point, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to come back. And when that happens, this passing game could be pretty formidable.
Oh, no, 100%. I think you have to have a lot of optimism for that. I think, just the thought of seeing Brian Thomas Jr. added to this equation with Jacoby Myers, with obviously Brenton Strange had a good game yesterday. I mean, I think Jacoby really fits the offense and fits alongside BT really well, simply because he can do a lot of those things that maybe Brian Thomas was struggling with earlier in the season. Going over the middle, winning, those possession type catches. Whereas Brian Thomas, I think you can tell with how the offense has played the last few weeks that they really miss his speed on the field. It feels like everything's kind of underneath. Everything's very horizontal. They haven't been able to push the ball vertically all that often. And it feels like when they get Brian Thomas back, it feels like they'll finally be able to do that.
John Shipley, Jaguars on SI. You look at the running game as well. The offensive line yesterday had some issues in pass protection to an extent. They were able to run the ball well at times, but again, it was kind of hit or miss. ETN finished with 86 yards. 50 of those were on one carry. What was your thought on the running game?
Yeah, I thought, obviously, you saw a lot of good from the running game early in the game, and I thought at certain spurts, you saw some positive. I mean, they had one really positive run, taken away for the cut block, I believe. It was disappointing, I think, to see them struggle to get that yard at the end of the game. And I think 9 times out of 10, Liam Cohen runs it there on 4th and 1. But I think just how that game went, he maybe had more faith in the passing game to get it open, which I don't know how many other games this year you can say that for. So I think the running game, it still had its moments, obviously, which I think it will every single game. But it definitely felt like it was missing some consistency this week. And that could be, too, a lot of the kind of front Arizona was playing. They run a very unique and exotic defense. You won't see a lot of that very often. And it felt like the Jaguars, a lot of the game, were like one block, one more second away from springing some of these runs.
Admittedly, I'm a very old 42-year-old. I'll be the first to tell you that. But I hated the decision to not kick a field goal with 1:40 there. I mean, I guess analytics tell you to go for it. I could not believe they did not kick the field goal. What was your thought?
So I understand. And my feeling is, if you give Liam Cohen a truth serum, he probably tells you he went for it for the simple reason of you get that 1 yard and the game's over. As opposed to you kick the field goal, the game's far from over. I mean, we saw it against the Cincinnati Bengals. We saw it against the Houston Texans. We saw it against the Las Vegas Raiders. Up until yesterday, in overtime, after they had already failed at the first part of regulation, the Jaguars defense finally got a stop at the end of a game that kind of trended like this. Every other time, they had failed to do so. And frankly, Arizona still got the ball down to the 10. So, I mean, they were almost right in that sense that even if you kick the field goal, Arizona was already 10 yards away from scoring and winning that game regardless. So I understood the decision to go for it. I bet if you asked the Arizona Cardinals in that moment, would they prefer the Jaguars kick the field goal or go for it? I think the Arizona Cardinals would say kick the field goal because it's 1 yard and you win the game as opposed to kicking and taking the points and the game isn't over yet. I mean, you forced them to drive the field, but we've seen that happen multiple times this season. So I understand the call. I don't think it was a bad decision to go for it. I do think the decision to kind of cut the field in half and he only really has one very defined read. I don't think it was a good play call, but I think it was the right decision to go for it.
John, before we look forward, and that's a fair point, before we look forward, let's look back one more time yesterday on the defense. No Trayvon Walker. With that going in, I thought, oh boy, they're going to have a hard time getting to the quarterback. Not at all. 6 sacks, Gardeck, Strigal, B.J. Green, Hines Allen obviously was doing his thing. I love the fact that Campanile did a lot of blitz packages with Antonio Johnson, Jarian Jones, Dewey Wingard. What was your thought on Campanile's game plan yesterday without Trayvon?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they knew that what Arizona's really going to try to do, which is throw the ball, because this isn't a team that's going to get under center and run the ball 30 times, etc. They knew that Jacob Brissett was going to chunk that ball around. And I know in the midst of those kind of games, when they're picking up some chunk gains, you're like, oh, man, it doesn't feel like they can stop a pass. Well, then you look up, and at one point in the game, he has less than 7 yards, per completion. So he's really kind of dinking and dunking in a lot of sense. Jags are able to keep things in front of him. I thought the rush plan was fantastic. They got a lot of pressure. They used Dennis Gardeck as a spy at certain points, and then once Brissett scrambled, he was able to get to him. I think having some of the juice with Gardeck, with Strigal, with B.J. Green, over some of the older guys that were playing, not Trayvon, but some of the other veterans at edge, I think that's made a big difference. And I think a lot of credit goes to Campanile and his staff for kind of putting that in place instead of just going to status quo.
Final moments, John Shipley, Jaguars on SI. All right, John, as we look ahead now, if there's any team in the NFL that should know at this point that they can't look past anybody, it's Jacksonville. And the common thought among people that I've talked to early in the week is, all right, you got a gigantic game against Indianapolis, and you got lowly Tennessee before that. The Jaguars have lost to Jake Browning, Davis Mills. The Raiders are awful, and if not for Devon Hamilton's big paw, they would have lost that game. And obviously we know what happened yesterday. I don't care if the Titans are 1-10, 10-1, anywhere in between. You cannot take them lightly, and if Jacksonville doesn't know that going in, then I don't know what to tell you.
The way I've really described it is this Jaguars team feels like the most unpredictable team in the NFL right now. Any given week, they can go out there and steamroll a team and then also beat the completely lowly, woeful Las Vegas Raiders by 1 point in overtime. I mean, that same team that did that 2 weeks later took down a contending Los Angeles Chargers team and just completely dismantled them. So the Jaguars, nothing surprises me this season. If they go out there and beat Tennessee by 30, I think it's in the cards. If it's another one that goes down to the wire, I can 100% see that as well. I think the bright side is, like you said, other than the Rams game, though, they've been in every game. And when you play games like this, that means you're going to be in these games.
That's certainly the hope. And Tennessee is playing better. They're 1-10, but their last 3 losses have only come by a combined 16 points. John, I'm curious. The Texans are at the Colts on Sunday. I can see kind of both sides of it, man. If you're a Jaguar fan, who do you want to win that game?
Yeah, I think personally, I think you want the Texans to win that game. I think that, anything that makes the Colts kind of take a step back or at least helps you keep pace with them is a good thing, simply because you play the Colts 2 more times. So say the Texans beat them and for some reason the Jags, lose to the Titans, then yeah, the Texans are right there with the Jags, but the Colts are still just 1 game ahead of the Jags like they are now with 2 more games against them. I think you want to put yourself in position in the division in those Colts games. So I think Jags should be going for Houston this weekend.
No, it's a fair point. I agree with you. I've kind of gone both ways, but I think being swayed more towards the line of thinking that you want the Colts to have another loss. Final question. I mentioned Liam Cohen. Look, Vrabel in New England, Steichen in Indy, Ben Johnson in Chicago. Those are going to be the guys that get all the love for Coach of the Year. I'll tell you this, man. I don't know if a guy's been dealt a tougher hand, inheriting a team that was 5-18 prior to his arrival, all the injuries, the gut punch of losing your number 2 overall pick in practice, and now here you are 7-4, controlling your own destiny for a division championship. I mean, what a job Liam Cohen has done in year number 1.
No, I 100% agree with you. Just the fact that, they've improved so much in these close games compared to last year when they lost 10 one-score games, I think says a lot to him and the job he's done. They're a very resilient team. They definitely have an identity and an edge, which I think past years you probably couldn't say that about. I can only think of a couple of games this year where they were not the more physical team, whereas the last few years it felt like week in and week out, even if they won, they weren't always the most physical team. So I definitely think Liam Cohen has put his stamp on this team, and I'd say look at Tampa Bay. I know they've had a lot of injuries, but they had a lot last year. Their offense does not look the same this year without Liam Cohen there, and I think he's a big reason why.
John, tell the good folks here in Jacksonville, Jaguars on SI, the coverage you'll have heading into Nashville on Sunday.
Yeah, you can find us Jaguars on SI on Facebook and Twitter. We will be there all week, including on Thanksgiving as the Jaguars get ready for the Tennessee Titans. So make sure you hang around with us, and we'll give you guys all the good stuff in the locker room and more.
John Shipley does a terrific job covering the Jacksonville Jaguars. Check out his work, Jaguars on SI. John, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll talk soon, pal.
Hey, thank you, sir. You have a good one, my friend.
Your place for local sports play-by-play is 1010XL.
It's a double dose of Black Friday high school playoff football. Bishop Kenny at Reigns at 6:30 on 92.5 FM. Pensacola Catholic at Bowles at 7 on 1010 AM.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified, fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
The wait is over. Sunday, December 7th, your Jacksonville Jaguars return to Everbank Stadium for a massive division showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. This is more than just a game. It's a statement. Touchdown, Jacksonville! The Jags are back home and ready to turn up the heat in their iconic Prowler throwbacks. Kickoff is 1 p.m., so pack the bank and make it loud. Secure your seats now at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Just recently, Cam Little was good from 68 yards to set an NFL field goal record. You know who else goes the distance? The team at Coyle Fencing. Coyle is A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project. Coyle does it all. Visit CoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminex. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminex knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminex. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminex does. Visit Terminex.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149 and a 4th room free with a canned food donation. Plus $75 off air ducts as well. Book online anytime at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Which NFL team holds the record for longest regular season winning streak?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Indianapolis Colts won their final 9 games in 2008 and their first 14 games in 2009 to set the regular season record.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
What's happening, beautiful people? It's your main man, E to the T here. And cool air, open trails, and that perfect Florida winter sunshine, woo! It's the season to get outside and explore Clay County. From Christmas parades and hometown festivals to holiday markets and local theater shows, holiday magic is lighting up every corner of Clay County. Get outside, get moving, and get active. Come see everything happening this season at ExploreClay.com. That's ExploreClay.com.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig in the hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Hey folks, Frank Frangie here for Lee & Kate's Glass. Now with the holidays coming, it's time to update that dated-looking bathroom setup and give yourself the gift of a gorgeous new frameless shower with big, sexy glass you spend every morning and night in that bathroom. A new shower enclosure from Lee & Kate's Glass will look fantastic and make your bathroom feel like a luxurious spa. You'll love it. You deserve it. Request the free in-home consultation. Visit LeeandKatesGlass.com.
You're gonna see a big difference.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Yeah, I think it's definitely felt a little bit throughout being here in my short time in Jacksonville. The division means something, right? The divisional games, you can feel that there's just a different level, which is what you want, right, in divisional games. And felt the same way in LA, right, or in Tampa with whether it be Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans. You feel it. You know that it's going to be a 4-quarter football game. They're coming off of obviously some losses, but 1-score games at home, and the quarterback's playing better. So we know what this is going to be. This is going to be a dogfight.
The thoughts of Jaguar head coach Liam Cohen. Again, interesting week, always Thanksgiving week. Only with you tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Although I am going to be with you on Helmets and Heels both tomorrow and Wednesday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock as well. More on that in a little bit, as I'll be sitting in with Taylor and Tom McManus tomorrow and Wednesday. So certainly looking forward to that. But back to what the coach said. Thank you to Jaguars.com for that soundbite. Tennessee 1-10, right? Worst record in the National Football League. They would have the #1 pick in the draft if the draft were held right now. Yet you look at their last 3 losses. They lose by a touchdown to the Chargers. They lose by a field goal to the Texans. And yesterday they lose by 6 to Seattle, the same Seattle team that beat Jacksonville. So, look, in the NFL, you never really know. I mean, the Giants had the Lions beat yesterday until literally the final play of regulation. The Jets were up on the Ravens in the 3rd quarter yesterday. It's the way the NFL is. You just know Tennessee is going to give Jacksonville their best shot on Sunday. And you also have a gigantic game between Indianapolis and Houston on Sunday in the AFC South. And if you're a Jaguar fan, you could go kind of both ways on this. There is obviously a thought that you want Indianapolis to lose, right? That's probably where most of you are. I would argue the other side of it, just at least to think about it, you still play Indy twice. If you're confident about beating the Colts, then maybe you want another loss on the Texans. Because I got to tell you something. The Texans' schedule is probably a little bit easier than Indianapolis' schedule. Indy has Houston twice, Jacksonville twice, Seattle, and San Francisco. Whereas Houston has the Colts twice, they have Kansas City, but then they also play like Arizona. I believe the Raiders are still on that schedule. So there is something to be said because the Colts schedule is harder. Maybe you want Indy to put another loss on Houston. I don't necessarily know if there's a right or wrong answer as long as Jacksonville wins. Now, if Jacksonville loses to Tennessee, then I don't know what to tell you. But assuming Jacksonville beats Tennessee, something good will happen because either the Colts will have a loss or the Texans will have a loss put on them. And as we know, Jacksonville hosts Indianapolis 13 days from today in what potentially could be the biggest regular season home game here in Jacksonville since probably the AFC South Championship game, the final week of the 2022 season. Some more on the Jaguars coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Jamal St. Cyr, of Channel 4 will join me then. To the world of college football. It is Florida State week. I remember, I guess I'm old enough to remember when that was a big game, right? When it was 2 top 10 teams going at it. Dare I say 2 top 5 teams going at it. Occasionally it was 1 versus 2 going at it. Now it's become relegated to ESPN2 at 4:30 in the afternoon, where the 5 and 6 Florida State Seminoles look to become bowl eligible, taking on the 3 and 8. That's 3 and 8 Florida Gators. How many people actually care about the game? Well, it is a rivalry. You probably want to win, right? You'll probably get to that point Thursday, Friday, certainly into Saturday. Thanksgiving week, you'll hang out with friends and family that are fans of the other side, and that's when the smack talk will commence. But for Florida State, yeah, I guess you want to get bowl eligible, sure. But the big story is that Mike Norvell is going to remain as the Seminole head coach in 2026. I have not talked to one Florida State fan, not one, over the last 24 hours. And I know quite a few of them that are happy about that. And the general thought, the general consensus is literally Florida State cannot fire Mike Norvell due to finances. He is too expensive to fire. They simply do not want to pay the $58 million or whatever it is, something around there, that it would take to relieve Mike Norvell of his services. And they're saying all the right stuff. He's going to reassess the program and put more resources into recruiting and this, that, and the other. And that's all fine and well, and that's great. At the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, the Florida State Seminoles, what is the number? I believe they've lost 12 of their last 15 ACC games. That is simply unacceptable. I don't care what kind of finances you're going to put on recruiting or overseeing the program, doing this, that, or the other. There is no way, no shape, no how, in any capacity, that Florida State should be 3-12 in their last 15 ACC games. That is fireable in and of itself, and the only reason Florida State is not doing it is because it would be too expensive to do it, because it was a terrible contract that they gave Mike Norvell. So that's the Florida State side of this. The Florida side, look, Tennessee won the first game in the Swamp in 8,100 days. You had to go back to September of 2003 for the last time Tennessee went in there and won. Looked like Florida was pretty disinterested. It was 31-0 before you blinked your eyes. What were the numbers in the first quarter? Tennessee had like 148 yards of offense. Florida had 1. Denmark, you were in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on Saturday night. What was the feeling in there when Tennessee came in and went up 31-0 at halftime?
Well, Jaden Ball got a first down at about the beginning point of the second quarter, and the crowd cheered as if a touchdown was scored to get Florida back in the game.
You love the sarcastic applause in moments like that, don't you?
Oh, 100%. And then when Florida got the field goal in the third quarter, you would have thought that news had broke that a team lost for Florida to get in playoff contention.
No, you're just trying to keep the streak alive at this point.
Yeah.
Or whatever in every game. For whatever, that's all they got left. All the other streaks are gone. All Florida has, other than the hope for Lane Kiffin, is the scoring streak. All right, in and around the stadium, were you sitting with the students?
No, I was alumni side.
Okay, you were on the alumni side. So you're on the alumni side, you're walking around the campus all day. I'm sure you went deep into the night. What was the feeling about Lane Kiffin from Gator fans?
The tailgate that I was camped out at with a couple of prominent members of the media, they think this was Saturday. They still think that Florida has a really good chance of getting Lane Kiffin.
You know, it depends what day it is, how you get out of bed in the morning, what the narrative is. There have been some mornings in this process where you get out of bed and it's all LSU. There have been some mornings you get out of bed and he's staying at Ole Miss. Today was the day that you talk to people and you read things online and you kind of read through the tea leaves a little bit, and maybe it is Florida. Denmark, I'll tell you this, I'm tired. I really am. The whole Lane Kiffin stuff has kind of worn me out.
Everybody else is.
I'm ready for an answer. I'm ready to know one way or the other. Me personally, I would love Lane Kiffin to Florida. Am I going to lose sleep if it's not Lane Kiffin? Probably not. I know some people that probably would lose sleep over that. I'm not one of them. But at the end of the day, man, I just want clarity. I want an answer, and I truly hope we get that on Saturday. That seems to be the talking point, the Lane Kiffin, maybe even Friday. The Egg Bowl's Friday at noon Eastern. We will get some resolve on this after the Egg Bowl. In Denmark, I hope by kickoff on Saturday, Florida State, we know what's going to happen, at least with Lane Kiffin.
I don't know if we will, because Ole Miss still has an outside chance of being in the SEC championship game, which has kind of been talked about in this whole scenario.
What would it be? A&M would have to lose, and Alabama would have to lose?
So A&M plays Friday night,
and Alabama plays
Saturday.
Yeah.
So
both of them have to lose, right?
Correct.
So if A&M already wins, then Ole Miss is out.
Ole Miss still has to win too, by the way.
Right.
And that's kind of being understood. Everybody thinks that Ole Miss is going to run away with it. That game's like only a 6.5, 7-point spread.
I mean, with all the distraction, Mississippi State. I mean, look, if Ole Miss loses, are they guaranteed a playoff spot at 10-2?
Guaranteed? I would say they're about 80 to 85%.
I would happen to think they're probably still going to get in. But you want to talk about hatred? I don't know if you've ever been to the state of Mississippi.
I have not.
Mississippi State and Ole Miss, I mean, there is legit hatred there. Those people hate each other. All right? There is. Florida State is a good barometer. Auburn, Alabama. Mississippi doesn't get talked about as a great rivalry state. The Egg Bowl is, Mississippi State would love nothing
Well, that's all they have there.
Right. Would love nothing more than to ruin Ole Miss's season. Regardless then, all right, then Sunday morning. How about that? Sunday morning, we're getting ready for the Jags-Titans. If you're a Jaguar Gator fan, I would hope, and I do expect, Denmark, that we will know one way or the other with Kiffin by Sunday morning.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I would be more than shocked if I would probably expect that we're going to have an answer Saturday night. I would be shocked if we don't have an answer by Sunday at noon.
Where are you leaning right now?
I'd still lean Florida.
You're leaning Florida?
But, I mean, it's like on the pie chart, I'm like just over slightly third Florida, and then a little less LSU, and then I still have Ole Miss. I don't think he goes back to Ole Miss, but because it's Lane Kiffin, I still think all three still have a good shot.
I'm leaning LSU, but I'm not as far on LSU as I was 24 hours ago. The more people you talk to, the more things you read, there appears to be a little trepidation in Baton Rouge. Maybe they were popping champagne bottles a little too quickly, and now they're a little worried. So we'll see. It's been fun reality TV, but I'm done with it. I want an answer, and hopefully we'll get one in the next 5 or 6 days. Ben Troop, former Gator All-American tight end. We'll talk Lane Kiffin. We'll talk Florida State. He joins me at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. Coming up next, back into the Jaguars, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Let's look back on the win in Arizona. Let's look ahead to Tennessee and Nashville. Jamal St. Cyr, Channel 4, next on a Monday night here in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Hacker After Dark.
Playmakers make special plays.
That right there, that's special.
Special plays make the special teams player of the game.
Winning football players who can step up in a clutch moment.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams player of the game on 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
It's Thanksgiving week, and Monahan Jewelers has the best deals in town with up to 40% off the entire store. Thousands of beautiful pieces are all on sale with fantastic prices on our entire inventory, including up to 30% off on GIA certified diamonds. We're your local family jeweler, so come visit us today and on Small Business Saturday for up to 40% off on diamond studs, engagement rings, colored gemstones, our designer brands, custom design, everything. The name you can trust in fine jewelry, Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
AA Automotive helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today. They'll check the brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and AC to get you right back to your holiday plans. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Full service auto repair you can count on.
He's not a senior citizen. He's Jacksonville's senior writer, John Osher. And knows your favorite football team. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
At Bank of America, we asked our teammates, what makes this company a great place to work?
There's very little that you can't accomplish working for Bank of America.
If you prove yourself, you can try over in a totally new way.
You can learn so much here. You're the owner of your career.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Why wait until January resolutions to feel stronger and healthier? Start now. At the YMCA, there's no place like this place. This Cyber Monday, you can join the Y with no joining fee and no payments until January. The Y is more than a gym. It's a place to grow in spirit, mind, and body. We say there's no place like this place and no better value. Visit your local Y this Monday for $0 join fee and no payment until January, or at fcymca.org with promo code Click to Join.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Jaguars Titans Sunday 1 o'clock. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. The Jaguars coming off a huge win yesterday in Arizona. The Jaguars now 7-4, 3-0 in the West Coast, and 2 of those in overtime absolutely wild what this 2025 season is turning into for the Jaguars. Let's review the win yesterday. Let's look ahead to Nashville on Sunday with Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4, who's always kind enough to join us here on Hacker After Dark. Jamal, how we doing, pal?
I'm doing pretty good, Hacker. I think the heart rate's finally down. It took a little bit of a second, but that was a game. That was a game.
You know, 11 games, Jamal. The outliers, of course, are the Chargers and Panthers in the win column, the Rams in the loss column. The other 8, even Seattle, all of them were in doubt with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. I mean, what a roller coaster of emotion this season has been.
I mean, that's the NFL now. That's what they want. They want parity. They want these one-score ball games. I mean, if you watch Red Zone, they call it the witching hour. And, I mean, I'm sitting there watching the Giants-Lions at the end, and Jameis Winston has them in overtime with a chance to win it. You're watching the Colts and Chiefs who are in OT. I mean, look, that's what the NFL is now. There are very few blowouts. The games like the Chargers game where, you just run away with it and it's never really in doubt. That's not the league anymore. These teams, I mean, even the Titans played the Seahawks tough until the end. I mean, look at the scoreboard on that one. So overall, that's not out of the ordinary, and it's the teams that know how to win those one-score ball games, to make just one more play, that tend to have the best records and make runs.
Absolutely crazy stat from yesterday. I believe I saw this. Going back to the beginning of the 2021 season, teams that were +4 in turnover differential were 50-0 heading into yesterday. They're now 50-1 as the Jaguars -4 in turnovers, also playing without Trayvon Walker, BTJ, Jordan Lewis, Anton Harrison, among many others, found a way to win that game. What a victory for Liam Cohen and this organization.
Yeah, look, that is a game that historically is lost around the league. The turnovers are a problem. That's something that's got to get cleaned up, and I know that's what a lot of people harp on. But lost in the fact of that game is that the Jaguars won. I mean, that is a game where you made the plays that needed to be made. That's a game where we've looked at it in the past, and you look at games like the Cincinnati Bengals game, and we're talking about, oh, this team's got to learn how to finish. Well, now they've learned how to finish, and not just learned how to finish at a normal level, but at a level that puts them past some of the mistakes. And you mentioned it, the injuries are still a factor, so this isn't even a healthy football team. This is a banged-up football team that's getting down the stretch on a relatively easy schedule that has complete control of their own destiny the rest of the way. I mean, this is shaping up to be a really fun finish to the season.
No, there's no doubt. It's all right in front of them. Again, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 with us here on Hacker After Dark. Everybody's got a thought on Trevor Lawrence, Jamal. Obviously, it was far from perfect yesterday. Quite frankly, it was bad at times. 4 turnovers. The one thing I will say about Trevor, though, you talk about the Trevor Lawrence experience, well, we got the full effect because after those turnovers, that touchdown pass to Parker Washington, I'm not sure how many quarterbacks in the NFL can make that throw. And then leading them to a field goal in overtime that ultimately proved to be the difference in the game. I will give Trevor an immense amount of credit for responding amidst all that turnover adversity there earlier in the game.
When would you rather your quarterback play his best ball?
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter when the game's on the line, or, at some other time? Trevor rises to the occasion. After that last interception, I think the Buda Baker one was the last one of the game. After that one, there was without a doubt. I think I tweeted it. I was saying where we were sitting there watching the game. I mean, he's getting ready to go make the throw of his life, and he turns around and makes that throw to Parker Washington. That is who this dude is. He's going to make the one throw that makes you rip out your hair, and then he's going to turn right around and go and make the throw that sends people running around the block screaming. That is the experience. That's the highs. That's the lows of what it is. Now, the turnovers, I think people are making a little bit too much out of some of them. I mean, one of them's a blown pass blocking assignment. Yeah, they got to be a little bit better there, but kind of a fluky play. Another one's a tipped pass. Another one is honestly, I mean, as a guy who was a former DB once upon a time, that was a hell of a play by Buda Baker to bait Trevor into that. Buda is a hell of a player, one of my favorite DBs to watch. And if you're a DB and you watch that, that's how you do it. I mean, honestly just caps off the Buddha on that play. Does Trevor probably need to put it somewhere else? Sure. But that was a hell of a play by the DB. So, yeah, the stat line reads that he had 4 turnovers. 3 of them were honestly kind of fluky. One of them was a really bad decision. But the thing about Trevor is he always flips the page so quickly. And right after he makes the bad play, he turns around and goes and makes the drive of his life. He rises in those crunch time moments for one reason or another. And that's just who he is.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, you really saw how much they missed Brenton Strange. He was fantastic yesterday. Parker Washington, I think those guys combined for 10 grabs for $164 and a touchdown. You throw Jacoby Myers into the mix with his touchdown and 50 yards receiving. I mean, at some point, they are going to get Brian Thomas Jr. back. And when that happens, even without Travis Hunter, this passing game will be pretty good.
Look at how they've adjusted over the course of the season, Hacker. I mean, you've been around covering this team long enough to where there were coaching staffs that what we went in with is this is what we're going to do. They have completely adjusted this passing game from what they thought it was going to be in week 1 to what it is now. I mean, you traded for Jacoby Myers. You got Tim Patrick playing a big role. Parker Washington has climbed his way to the top of the freaking depth chart. Brenton Strange, they didn't think he was going to be as much of a factor in the offense as he has immediately become. And now we're looking at it and saying, ooh, the cherry on top is if you can get Brian Thomas Jr. to come back, a guy who's struggled a lot this season. But if somehow giving him a couple of weeks off can get him back to the place where he was at the end of last season, I mean, this is a team that all of a sudden, you talk about getting a boost. I don't know if there could be possibly a bigger boost if this guy just needed a little bit of a break to get him back to the level where he was playing once upon a time, which I think is within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy to think that. And again, hopefully it'll be this week. We'll see. But if you get even 50, 60, 70% of what Brian Thomas Jr. was last year with Jacoby Myers, with Parker Washington, with Brenton Strange, you might have something there. And then Jamal defensively, look, I mean, I've been harsh on him. I think a lot of people have for the lack of pass rush. That was not the case yesterday. Campanile, the blitz packages, Hines Allen doing his thing. Those two youngsters, Strigow and B.J. Green, have been just diamonds in the rough. I mean, to affect the quarterback that much without Trayvon Walker, I thought was really, really good by the Jags defense yesterday.
Dennis Gardeck.
Yes.
Dennis Gardeck is the diamond in the rough of this offseason class. They're going to have to re-up that guy. He was a late ad. He got healthy. He has been impactful all season long, no more than he was on Sunday, Hacker. I mean, this guy was a steal, an absolute steal. I think when they signed him, I asked somebody because I wasn't familiar with Dennis Gardeck's game, and somebody that covered the Cardinals and was familiar with the Jaguars said, well, he was basically our Dewey Wingard. I said, okay, I can live with that. And now you see him and you watch him out there flying around and you're like, I see the comparison. And there's not a guy who, stepped up more than him when they needed him to. I mean, he had it was the Dennis Gardeck revenge game. I mean, a sack and a half for that guy out there, pressures and all over the field. And celebrating and dancing. He was impactful for that team. And Coach Camp, he's got the blitz packages dialed up for sure. Josh Hines Allen steps up when you need him. Danny Strigow, B.J. Green, both playing really good ball for the Jaguars. You hope that when you get Trayvon Walker back, maybe the wrist is a little bit more healed. Hopefully the knee just needs a little bit of rest, and you can get him back going. And all of a sudden, you might look up and you say, okay, defensive line's not as bad off as maybe you thought. And they did that with a secondary that they were shifting and changing behind them because Christian Braswell played most of the game for him.
Yeah, because Savage left the game, or not Savage, Newsome left the game. I thought number 6. No, Newsome left the game in the first quarter and did not return. That'll certainly be something to monitor. Final moments, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Liam Cohen, Jamal, I don't think is going to get a lot of credit for Coach of the Year consideration. And you got Vrabel in New England, right? You got Steichen in Indy. Ben Johnson in Chicago, much bigger markets, much more talked about teams. But I got to tell you, man, despite even going for it on 4th down yesterday, which I could not believe they did, despite that, with 2 minutes to go, I think the job Liam Cohen has done might be second to none. This was a team that was 5-18 prior to his arrival. He's got them 7-4, dealing with unbelievable circumstances as far as injury concerns. and yet they're right in the thick of it, controlling their own destiny for a division title at Thanksgiving. I mean, what a job Cohen has done here.
I don't hate the going for it on fourth as much as most people do, because all the Cardinals were in range. All they do is take a couple more shots at the end zone to win it instead of kicking the field goal. So, I mean, I don't know if that would have changed the calculus that much. It probably would have stressed people out more and did it in regulation. But here's the thing with Liam. I mean, who's to say that the Jaguars aren't the number 2 seed in the AFC when this is all said and done? Yeah. That is still within the realm of possibility, because you got to remember the Broncos, yeah, they have 2 losses. They have the Jaguars on the schedule. Are you going to say they're going to run the table outside of if the Jags run the table the rest of the way, they completely control their own destiny. All they need is the Broncos to have a speed bump 1 week. And then if you beat the Colts twice, you might look up and be the number 2 seed in the AFC. I mean, and this is also assuming that the Patriots don't have some stumbles along the way. So I don't know if he's out of the running for Coach of the Year. I know it's going to be a tough sell because, yeah, the Jaguars, yeah, the bigger markets, yeah, look at what the Bears are doing with Ben Johnson and Mike Vrabel and this, that, and the other. But honestly, this is a pretty easy schedule. This is a team that's getting healthier down the stretch. I don't know. I mean, we might look up. We've seen crazier stuff around here, Hacker. We honestly have. Normally it's crazy bad. I mean, but maybe this is the pendulum swing. Maybe now you're finally getting that upswing where you see the crazy good. And it's not out of the conversation when you start looking at this schedule. Could the Jaguars sweep the Colts? Look, it's doable. If you beat the Broncos, all of a sudden we might look up and be talking about, wow, the road through the playoffs leads through Jacksonville. I think this is the conversation that you need to have when you have a 7-4 football team and you play the team that's in the spot at 2 and you play the team that's in the spot at 3 twice.
Yeah, it's a great point. And of course it begins, the 6-game swing begins with Tennessee. Jamal, they're 1-10, but they're playing better. I mean, they've lost their last 3 games by a combined 16 points. The good thing for Jacksonville, if any team in the NFL knows that they can't take anything for granted, it's got to be the Jaguars after what's transpired this year. I know people might be concerned with the look-ahead factor with the Colts a week from Sunday. I cannot imagine the Jaguars are going to look past the Titans based on their history.
You know, I don't know how familiar Liam Cohen is with Jaguars and Titans history, but somehow I feel like there's a conversation between Tony Boselli and Liam Cohen this week about the Titans. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation if it hasn't already happened, but I feel like there's going to be an education factor of not only do you not want to lose to the Titans, but you hate the Titans. Yeah. Look, you can't lose this game. This is a must-win game, just like they all are. But it's against the Titans, a lowly Titans team, and you are in a race to at least win the division. So the last thing you want to do is stumble in a game that you should win. Are the Titans a good team? I mean, that's playing tough. Sure. Does Mike McCoy know the Jacksonville organization? Yeah, he does. But this is a fully winnable game. This is a game they should win. And I'm all about in games you feel like you can win. You know, maybe you rest some of those guys that are 50-50 or even 60-40. You hold the guy back. Like maybe Jordan Lewis could have played, but you felt like you could beat the Cardinals without him. Against the Titans, you roll out all the dogs you got. Because the last thing you want to do is look up on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter and be like, I sure do wish I had that guy.
That's a good point. It's a huge game, and Tennessee would love nothing more than to really put salt in the wound for the Jaguars and cost them potentially a division championship. Jamal, we got 30 seconds. I'm asking everybody this week. Really interesting dynamic, Colts-Texans on Sunday in Indianapolis. Who do Jaguar fans want to win that game?
Texans. Easy.
Yeah. I think,
for the division.
I think you're probably right. There is something to be said for putting another loss on Houston because you do play Indy twice. That's my only thought there.
The focus should be winning the division.
Yeah.
The focus should be winning the division, and handing another loss to Indy puts you in even further control and likelihood of doing that. Don't worry about the wild card. You play for the division, easy schedule the rest of the way. You want Texans.
Jamal, tell us about Channel 4, the coverage you guys will have heading into Nashville on Sunday.
Yeah, every Monday and Friday night at 11:20 over on Channel 4. You can come hang out with us for Teal the Show. We'll talk nothing but Jags there. And obviously this is going to be a big game. Victory Monday nights. And then Friday we'll talk about what the Jaguars got to do to get the dub.
Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Jamal, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll talk soon, man.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, Hacker.
Put on your boots, belt buckle, and cowboy hat. Trevor's in town for a touchdown tune-up and a tip of the cap. The rhythm's right for a sax symphony in Music City.
Get down, turn around, go to town.
A Duval-style takedown in Tennessee. Jaguars, Titans. It's felines, fiddles, and a honky-tonk stomp. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010XL. 1010XL is your home for Florida Gators football. Protected by the law firm of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors. Follow every Gators game on 1010XL.
Celebrate every score for Duval's favorite home team this season at One Night Taco Stand. Enjoy $3.99 margaritas, and when the home team scores, free tequila shots. Dine in only during the game. Don't miss Taco Tuesday, daily lunch specials, and Top Shelf Friday, Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows. One Night Taco Stand, where tacos, tequila, and touchdowns come together.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL. Served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Custom Home Builders. Fed up with your electrical and low voltage companies that ghost you mid-project, sparking delays? Unreliable subs and poor electrical work that derails your schedules? Denny Thompson here for Tyson Inc., experts in seamless electrical services for your custom builds. Pre-construction planning, integration, and installation. No hassle. Your homeowners will love the new Tyson showroom. Home builders team up with Tyson for your next home building project. TysonInc.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Back here on 1010XL at 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Florida State, Saturday, 4:30. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL, the final game of the season for the Florida Gators. And then the waiting game will commence as to who the next head coach at the University of Florida will be. The Lane Kiffin soap opera continues. Will it be Lane? Will it be somebody else? Well, let's talk about all of it with a former All-American at the University of Florida, my buddy Ben Troop, always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Ben, how we doing, man?
And always doing good, Ryan. I always appreciate coming on with you, sir.
Hey, Ben, thank you as always, pal. And all right, I don't even know how much I really want to talk about the game. I guess we'll get to that in a moment. The Lane Kiffin stuff, man, it's wild. Is it Florida? Is it LSU? Does he go back to Ole Miss? Ben, can you ever remember a situation involving a coach and 3 high-profile universities like this? It has turned into a full-blown soap opera.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, and I just think that it shows the I mean, it shows how attractive a guy like Lane Kiffin is. After the greatest thing Lane Kiffin have right now is the greatest thing most coaches have in his position, and that's potential. Now, that's also a scary thing because the thing about Lane Kiffin is if Lane Kiffin goes to one of these schools, if he stays at Ole Miss, goes to LSU, goes to Florida, they're going to always be saying, okay, if it works out, we made the right decision. But if it don't, they're going to go back to what didn't happen in Tennessee. They're going to go back as to why he left FAU. They're going to go back to what he hasn't done yet with Ole Miss, even though they still got a lot of the season left because they're going to definitely be a college football playoff team. Lane Kiffin is very intriguing because of what he brings to the offensive side of the ball and what he's gonna bring in NIL money and the eyes he's going to bring to that school. I will say this, though. $98 million, if that is indeed what LSU is offering, is going to be hard to turn down. Ole Miss has been the school that's really helped him get back on the radar. But if he really wants to, have a legacy that I think he did, $98 million is going to be hard to say no to. Florida still has a shot, but Ole Miss is where he is. I would love to have his monetary choices. I would not want to have to make a decision if I was Lane Kiffin because no matter what he does, just like I know, Ryan, people going to feel a tight way no matter where he goes, but he's going to have to make a decision here soon.
Ben, how much pressure is there on Florida AD Scott Strickland to get Lane Kiffin? And if he does not, how big of a black eye is that?
It's going to be huge. Scott Strickland has put himself in a bad situation, not necessarily because of what's going on in 2025 with Lane Kiffin. I heard some news or some rumors saying in 2024 there were some boosters that wanted to come into 2024 and get rid of Billy Napier and try to go for Lane Kiffin, and they said that Scott Strickland literally shut it down. Now these same boosters are telling Scott Strickland, look, you better find a way to get this dude, regardless of what Lane Kiffin does. If he does come to Florida, it's the perception thing. Because just like I know, Ryan, when it comes to a brand like Florida, it's reputation almost first. Yes, you want to win games, but you don't want to lose the reputation of that brand. So for Scott Strickland, I know Matt Golden just won you a national championship, but the reason why people want to come and pack these stadiums is because of Florida football. Even though we love Florida basketball, Scott Strickland don't have to pull a rabbit out of a hat because if Lane Kiffin goes elsewhere, regardless if it's $98 million to go to LSU, the fans are not going to be happy.
Former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop with us here on 1010XL in Jacksonville, Florida State, Saturday, 4:30. You'll hear the game right here. All right, if not Lane Kiffin, and that is certainly the guy that everybody wants. If not Lane Kiffin, though, Ben, what other names are you hearing? What other names would you contact for the Florida job?
I mean, a guy that I would have loved to have contact, even though he's off the market now, is James Franklin. But he's off the market now. Brent Key, I mean, things are kind of going sour right now for Brent Key up there at Georgia Tech. He's definitely a guy you will definitely get the call. A guy that I like, that I know a lot of people say, is Eli Drinkwitz. For this reason, he's won at Mizzou, and he hasn't had the recruiting further recruiting ground like a state of Florida. He hasn't had the money that he's going to be able to have and resources that he's going to have. I know a lot of people said Eli Drinkwitz was competitive when Dan Mullen was a coach. Oh, that's right. I was coaching when Dan Mullen was in. Dan Mullen's gone. Now I'm coaching against the second coach after Dan Mullen. It's something to say for staying power in the SEC in a place like Missouri that, I couldn't tell you what part of Missouri they're in. I don't know if they're near St. Louis or wherever they are, but he's competing. And I think for me, the University of Florida or SEC in general, you got to have certain ties. Either you've coached there before or you've recruited there before, because I'm sorry, Brian Kelly's situation didn't work at LSU, not because he's not a good coach or he just didn't live up to expectations. You got to understand the location where you are to be able to, resonate with these homes, with these families. Because if I'm walking into a home in Louisiana and I don't know if I don't know red beans or rice on the stove when I see it, that means something. Yeah. If I'm finna go, have my son go to LSU, I think that's the part, Ryan. Living in Jacksonville, the state of Florida is different, not just from teams, but cultures. Even if I don't know, I need to know, hey, man, why he got his dreads like this and he got his dreads like that. Oh, that's North Florida dreads. That's Middle Florida dreads. You got to know these things, because if you want me, you want what comes with me. And I think a guy like Eli Drinkwitz, he's goofy enough to make it work, but he's good enough as a coach to definitely make it work. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, Eli Drinkwitz is certainly a name that you hear, talked about if Lane Kiffin were to say no. A couple of more for former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop. Ben, I'll tell you this. I mean, obviously, Florida's got a ton of money at their resources. If they miss out on Lane Kiffin, again, if they miss out on Lane Kiffin, Scott Strickland's going to have to do something to appease this Gator fan base. I'll tell you a name that I only heard in sparsely, I guess, a couple of weeks ago that is beginning to pick up some traction. I'm starting to hear the name Lincoln Riley. What would your thoughts be there?
I mean, I would respect it. I mean, I would say this. If you can pull Lincoln Riley from SC with everything that they promised him, I don't know what $10 to $12 million. His family got access to him. It's not like Florida can't offer what SC has offered. Lincoln Riley would calm down the fan base a little bit, because the one thing that Lincoln Riley does that even Lane Kiffin doesn't do, he coaches Heisman Trophy winners at the quarterback position. He develops these quarterbacks at the quarterback position, from Kyler Murray, from Baker Mayfield, from Caleb Williams, and you see what he's doing this year. Lincoln Riley would calm the noise, but Lincoln Riley would be like, hey, man, I don't even sit down in Florida while that seat is piping hot. I mean, I just got here, and that's going to be for anybody. I like Lincoln Riley, but at the same time, Lincoln Riley was real good at Oklahoma, couldn't win the big one. Lincoln Riley is real good at SC. He won't win the big one. At Florida, even if it hasn't happened in a long time, they want to get back to respectability, not just going to college football playoffs or competing for SEC championships or being in a position to win a national championship. Lincoln Riley, he fits, he checks every box, but when it comes to postseason success, that's why I would have a big question mark when it comes to Lincoln.
No, that's totally fair, and I guess my logic on that is if you're Scott Strickland, you're not stupid. The entire fan base basically wants Lane Kiffin. If you miss out on Lane Kiffin, there's no way you can hire Jed Fish. Right? There's no way you can hire, to me, even a Jeff Brom. You got to go big game hunting if you miss out on Lane. And to me, the only other name that might be as big as Lane is Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, and I think what hurt Scott Strickland the most is Billy Napier. Billy Napier has made it off. No G5 coaches are even going to get consideration now, not because they haven't earned it, but they don't want to see this all over again. And another guy that hurt Billy Napier and Scott Strickland was Eli Drinkwitz. He came from App State, and he's having success. Success at Mizzou is way different than success at Florida, and he's doing it. So I think for Scott Strickland, they get these focus groups now. You need to sit down with any and everybody you can. Bring in Urban Meyer, bring in Coach Spurrier, bring in every coach you can that can kind of woo. I saw something to where, maybe he said it. Didn't Lane Kiffin say, I grew up wanting to be Steve Spurrier? You had to get Steve Spurrier to call him and say, hey, man, we ain't got $98 million, but we can do this. Because here's the thing. Brian Kelly and that front office over there at LSU, it is crazy. I don't even think they got an AD right now. They talking about having the governor they got some crazy stuff going on at LSU right now. I would at least want a stable front office. And they say it's talking about $25 million potentially in NIL money. I hope, but Lane Kiffin is being set up to either be really, really good at Florida if he comes here, or to crash and burn because of the expectations. Because this is the last time Lane Kiffin is going to be highly sought after like this, because he's no longer the young, hot coach anymore, or the coordinator, or the offensive coordinator for Alabama. It's going to be exciting to watch, Ryan. This is why I do, this is why I be on these airways with you, man, talking trash on these airways, and podcasts, and content. I would want Scott Strickland's money. I would not want to be in this position to have to make this choice.
No, it's a great point. The expectations on Lane, wherever he goes, are going to be almost impossible to live up to based on the money he's going to get at either Ole Miss, LSU, or at Florida. All right, Ben, look, there is one game to go. It is Florida State, right? It's not exactly when you played. It's the 5-6 Seminoles and the 3-8 Gators. There is something to be said, though, for beating your rival. My thought is, though, Florida looked pretty inept last week in the loss to Tennessee. I just don't know how much these guys have left. This is a season that, quite frankly, just needs to get over as soon as possible. What is your expectation for Saturday afternoon in Gainesville?
They aren't high. I mean, obviously, which side I'm going with. If Florida comes out and plays inspired football, for at least saying, hey, man, if we ain't going to a bowl game, Florida State ain't going to a bowl game, it could be a game. But I think if you are Florida State, this is the crazy thing I just realized. Florida's won 3 games this year. If Florida State and probably going to win against Florida, that's going to be 8 wins in 2 seasons for Florida State. I mean, when I think about the big 3 in the state of Florida, how the mighty have fallen. I am not a Florida State fan, but I know what they mean to the state of Florida in college football. Yes, I want my Florida Gators to win. Florida won 8 wins last year. They got 3. That'll be potentially 11, maybe 12 wins in 2 years. And you talk about 7 wins, maybe 8 wins for Florida State in 2 years. It's crazy to know that a 5-6 Florida State, this is the same Florida State team that beat Alabama, and they kind of like fell off a cliff. I hope it is a good game, Ryan. But the thing about it is, if Jaden Ball's spirit is running through the veins of all the Florida Gators on Saturday, they got a shot. But outside of that, I mean, I'm gonna be looking to see how those guys play, and I'm going to be looking to see that transfer portal window if and when we do pick our new coach, because they're going to have to keep certain guys, and I'm going to be intrigued to see who actually going to stay in Gainesville in 2026.
Ben, quickly, I want to end with a thought on the Jaguars and your former team, the Titans. Final thought on Kiffin. We got 30 seconds. Do you think Kiffin comes to Florida, or does he go to LSU or stay at Ole Miss?
I think he had a shot to go to Florida, but when LSU coming in with $98 million, it's gonna be hard to say no to that. But I still think Florida got a shot. But $98 million, man, is hard to turn down, no matter who's offering it.
The Tennessee Titans drafted you second overall, or is in the second round overall of that year's draft. I mean, look, the bottom line is the Jaguars go to Nashville on Sunday to play your former team. 1-10, although Tennessee has been very competitive in the last 3 games. I think they've lost by combined 16 their last 3 outings. What is your thought on Jacksonville, Tennessee on Sunday?
If the Jacksonville Jaguars, that has been showing up, against like Kansas City, against a team like that, it's gonna be hard, because the thing about the Tennessee Titans is, I mean, Coach McCoy, he's an interim coach. He don't really know what he's doing with his team right now. They don't really have a lot of structure right now on offense outside of Cam Ward doing all he can. But if they can find a way to protect Cam Ward, and they can push the ball down the field, they can make it a fourth quarter game. Because the last thing the Jaguars want to be is in a dogfight with a 1-10 team. You don't want that. I would favor Tennessee, but I just think that this Jaguars team understand that, hey man, we can't let a team like Indianapolis get too far away from us. And you see what Houston is doing, or what they did against 8 sacks against freaking Josh Allen and those guys. I got the Jaguars winning, but I do got my Titans do what they do every week. Man, they'll get your expectations up just to let you down. They're going to find a way to lose, because Jacksonville going to find a way to win. I'm going to go with the Jags.
Yeah, it's a great point. I think Jacksonville, there could be concern about an overlook factor with the Jaguars having a huge game against Indianapolis a week from Sunday. But if there's any team in the NFL that knows by now they can't overlook anybody, it's the Jaguars, based on the way their last couple of games have gone. Former Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop. Ben, tell the Florida fans about your podcast and where they can find your work.
Oh man, make sure you follow me on social media at Ben Troop 84, and then you talk about 84 reasons. No weddings in the fall. The fan in the end is soon to come, man. Just Being True podcast is gonna be coming anytime soon. Here we just trying to get some logistics put together, man. But just enjoying myself on these airways, Ryan. Anytime you need me, I am there, sir.
Ben, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. We'll talk again soon.
Man, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Ryan. Thanks for having me, sir.
And thank you, too, former Florida Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop, for joining me tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Florida State, Saturday, 4:30 in Gainesville. You'll hear it right here on 1010XL, and mercifully, for Florida Gator fans, it will be the final game of the year, maybe the final game of the year for Florida State. They need to win the game to become bowl eligible. Certainly the big news, Florida State has announced they are going to keep Mike Norvell for the 2026 season. I know a lot of Florida State fans are not very happy about that. Obviously, with Florida, you're not going to keep Billy Gonzalez, the interim coach. You're waiting on a decision from Lane Kiffin, and if not Lane Kiffin, the question is who is next in line to be offered that job. So a lot of clarity, I guess, for Florida State, a lot of uncertainty for Florida, but they will play in the rivalry game on Saturday. And again, you'll hear it right here on 1010XL. We certainly spent a lot of time on that, but as you can imagine, on a Victory Monday, an overwhelming majority of our time tonight was on your Jacksonville Jaguars. Another road overtime victory, this time over the Arizona Cardinals. Jacksonville now 7-4 on the year, only 1 game out of first place in the AFC South, and they will go to Nashville on Sunday to take on their arch rival, the Tennessee Titans. Well, that will just about do it. Crazy busy Monday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, former Gator, All-American tight end Ben Troop. Always appreciate Ben joining us. Thank you to Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4. Always love talking Jaguar football with Jamal. Likewise, my buddy John Shipley, Jaguars on SI is where you find John's terrific work. And we thank both John and Jamal for joining us here this evening. Now, tomorrow and Wednesday, we will be here with you on Hacker After Dark from 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock. But I will also be with you on Helmets and Heels from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. I'll be sitting in alongside Taylor Dahl and Tom McManus. Certainly looking forward to that opportunity. So I'll be with you 2 to 4 tomorrow, and then right back here tomorrow night, 8 to 10 on Hacker.